All right, there we are. There we go. That's a little too... Okay. That should be better. Now. Alright gang, if you're just tuning in, this is a test stream, so it's not going to have all the fancy bells and whistles. We're just trying it. See how this goes. I wish I could show you the camera right now. It's the way I've got it set up here. Okay, now we're kicking. Cool. This has been a journey trying to get this international sim to work on my little Roadcaster video, but I think we got it. I think we got it. Now the key thing is that because I don't have a screen to look at, I just got my iPhone. Little comments coming in from time to time. All right, that looks good. And there. A little overexposed, but not terrible. I got to try and fix the angle of this tripod somehow. Test. Oh, there we go. Jeez. Everything's failing at the same time. What's going on here, Jeremy? All right. Rookie mistakes all around today. Should be back to normal now. Now I got to figure out how to get my audio. Don't know where that's coming from. It's going to drive me bazonkers. Let us see. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. Thanks, Pip. I appreciate the reports here. I just got to figure out. I got. Oh, there we go. And okay, there we go. Now we should be able to get some audio out there. Nice white screen. Sorry about that. Get our focus in. There we go. All right, this is going to be an interesting stream. I guess we'll just talk to each other. You can see way out there. That is snow. That's snow hitting those mountains. It was a nice day to start, but it really just was not all that pleasant. Over the past couple of hours, it just really turned to crap. So this is the South Terminal platform. And it's actually pretty cool. Let me see if I can get a little... I have an echo. Why would I have an echo? That's interesting. Maybe turn this down a little bit. Might be coming off of HDMI 1. Yeah, we'll have to figure out that echo thing. I think, let's see here. This is why we call it a test stream, Pip. And I'm hearing a pretty nasty feedback loop somewhere. Let's see if I can check my transmitter. Receiver gains, turn it down a little bit. Maybe that might have something to do with it. No, it's still got an echo. I can hear it. Transmitter. No. I got something. Big fan. Yeah, I can totally hear how it's going out here. See if I can fix that. Oh, that may have had something to do with it. Tight. See. Okay, I can see what's going on here. Yeah. That's not going to have any impact. Okay. Let's see. I'm guessing my echo's still there a little bit. Tell me if it is. It sounds like it is, but I got to get these on. I'm using a wireless lab right now, and that might have something to do with it. Let's see. We'll get this all dialed in. That's what this is for. All right. Okay. Oh, there we go. Korean Air delivery. Yeah, I didn't want to bring a microphone with me. Is this any? No, that's the same thing. Yep, for the life of me, I don't understand what's going on with this, but we'll do. We'll make do. What's up, Robbie? So, Robbie, obviously, if you're just joining us, we're here at Vancouver. There is an echo on my audio. I've been made aware of it. I'm just on a wireless lab. I don't have an official microphone with me, but I figured I'd go out here while the family's up here on vacation and do a little bit of live streaming. And this is a total test. We are using a Rodecaster video to do this, so there's no computer involved at all. So I'm going through my iPhone for the streaming right now, and actually it's holding up quite well. Here we go. Where are you? There you are. So operations, it's an eastbound departure. So this little spot where we are is on the south side of the airport. The terminal's way over there, as you can see. So I just bought some more data before we went live for like what seemed to be the third test. So we'll see how long this holds up. How long I hold up to, considering that it's pretty freaking cold here right now. But that's all right. You know, I got to say, as far as an accessibility standpoint, Vancouver is way better than SeaTac, or Seattle, whatever you want to call it these days. But you can see the airport from so many different vantage points. And the one that I'm at right now, because it's on an elevated platform that they built for the plane spotters, the terminal's right behind me. The south terminal's right behind me. I can go to the bathroom and get some food. It's a pretty sweet little spot. The only caveat is it is a happy Friday. Unless you're not bundled up and out plane spotting like I am. I feel like one of those influencers. I wish I could show you, but the lens is being fixed. I can't. I'm just going to be blurry on the screen. I look like one of those influencers trying to sell you something on like a TikTok video. I'm holding up the microphone right next to my mouth. Looks really stupid, but you know, whatever. It works. Wish I could get rid of that echo though, because that is driving me bonkers. There is an audio delay. Let's see if I turn that down. Does that go anywhere? No. 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 Doesn't change anything. Okay. I'll just leave it as is. We will make do. A lot of activity for, well, actually, this is the second busiest airport in all of Canada, and you can certainly tell. I'm gonna put test. All right, there we go. Is this a little bit? This sounds a little better. I mean, still, there's an echo, but it sounds a little better. Okay, Pip. See you later, bud. Thanks for helping with the troubleshooting. All right, that is better. Let's see if we can get our HDMI. So if you're just joining us, we are at Vancouver, and I am just here on a little vacation. Figured I'd do some. We are actually doing a lot of different tests right now. The biggest thing is we're just testing some new equipment that we got and seeing how well it holds up. So it's kind of interesting, actually. I'm running completely PC-less right now. I've got my iPhone on international data, and I've got a little Rodecaster video here, and it works quite well, but we'll see how well it holds up. Overall, I've been pretty happy with it. Not having to lug around, well, even though I did, not having to lug around a laptop normally would be really cool. So you can see way out in the distance there, the mountain range that's directly beyond downtown. That's the North Terminal there. That's where most of the commercial flights are. Of course, the tower. Got a hotel across the way. And then where we are here on the south side, we've got a platform and plenty of light aviation into the main terminal area here, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a good spot to be. You can catch a lot of flights. Got a guy right across the way there. He's hanging out. Let's see if I can't. We don't have a whole lot of. There must be a lull at the moment. Right before I went live, of course, right before I went live, it ended up being we had a 2 787s, a 777, and then another 787 all take off, and I was busy struggling with trying to get online here, and unfortunately that didn't work to our favor. But I got it later. I got it recorded on the camera here. So cool thing about that is that it's all done in 4K on the camera, so we'll post them later. Yeah, let's see here. I can see me starting to buffer here, so I'm not really sure what's going on about that, but I'll keep an eye on it. I just noticed way across the way there. Let's see it. Is it? You got the FedEx planes right there. That's their terminal here. Another Air Canada 737 going. Oops, lost them there. Got a fixed lens, I can't zoom out. So this is one of the things you learn as a new plane spotter. Even though I've been watching airplanes my entire life, when it comes to camera work, having a good lens is always a good idea. So actually, you can't see it, but right behind me to the airport boundary, and then splits into kind of forks. Goes on the north side and the south side, and on the south side they actually have a lot of float plane activity. So there is a pretty active harbor just south of where I am right now, which is pretty neat. See all those planes there. And then yesterday I was at downtown Vancouver, and of course there's a lot of float plane activity right there. So it's a very active aviation hub here. And certainly having the float planes makes it, many more places, many more destinations in the area, so much more accessible. Oh, hey Greg, just saw your message here. Yeah, so yes, I'm on one of Pip's streams. Oh, here we got a 777 here. And so my home base is actually Boeing Field, the Seattle area. I tend to like, coming up here from time to time. Matter of fact, I haven't been to Canada in at least a decade, but I've flown up here. I have my pilot's license. I've had it for about 30 years now. I'm not a professional, a hobby, I guess, more or less. Whenever I can. So yeah, I'm based at Boeing Field, and I get up to Payne Field every now and then. I was there with Pip when we did the Dream Lifter when it came into Boeing Field. I also was with him at Boeing Field when he visited the Seattle area. We even did SeaTac from the garage, which was not ideal, but it was something that, you could at least see the aircraft. And we did get a chance, which I thought was really cool, to see the new Alaska 787, the first one, on its way out to, I believe it was going to Honolulu that day. So it's really cool. Again, Seattle being where they make a fair amount of the Boeing aircraft, it's got a lot of activity there. It's Boeing Field is a good mixture of commercial, Boeing test planes. There's also, obviously, a ton of general aviation. Oh, we got another Air France here. Where are you? There you are. So, yeah, that Dreamliner, I really want to get a lot closer to it, but it's, the thing about it is that it's just there's just no good way to view it at SeaTac. So you got to either find it when it's on its way to Boeing Field for whatever reason, or maybe catch it at one of the other vantage points around SeaTac. But SeaTac is just they're apparently building an observation deck in the sea terminal, which is the main. It's totally enclosed, so that may present problems for folks like us, where we bring in a decent amount of gear. We need a little bit of space, and having glass between your glass and the outside world is probably not ideal when you got a bunch of reflection. So it's really going to depend on time of day and all that other stuff. But maybe that'll help the SeaTac live streams. I'm not really sure, but you can't get close to that airport. You just can't. You need to have a super long lens if you're going to catch any kind of decent video there. That day with the 787, by the way, we had a little accident. We were standing on the top of the parking garage there, and they call it a mat box. It's something you put on the camera to kind of control. Where's my plane here? There it is. To kind of control the light coming into the lens. And mine popped off and decided to take a swan dive 8 floors down to the bottom of the garage. So that was not ideal. Fortunately, it did not land on anybody, although we never saw it again. I don't know what happened to it, but it was gone. Absolutely gone. But got a new one put on, and now we are cooking with grease, I guess. So I see got some planes out there. What's interesting was there's quite a few aircraft that we don't see down in the States anymore, particularly the Q400, and then also the 717, the good old MD-80/DC-9. Air Canada still flies them quite a bit. I'll put them up on the YouTube page. We'll get there, little by little. Oh, and Dragonfly drones up. I think Pip, he took off. I think he might come back, but I think he took off. No pun intended. Try and get this just a little bit more level. Okay. Not ideal. I would say right now, I don't know if you can tell. It's really hard to tell, but you can see off in the distance there, those clouds. Or actually, even better here. I'm going to go straight north. There. That there are snow clouds. And it is snowing at the top of that mountain range. It's pretty cold here. I'd say this morning when I woke up, it said 29 degrees Fahrenheit and felt like 24. So for a boy like me who grew up in Louisiana in the South, this is pretty cold. I mean, I've lived up in the Seattle area for quite some time, but I'm still not used to my hands going numb after a certain period of time. Of course, I could wear gloves. I know all that fun stuff, but yeah, that's one of the things about coming to Vancouver in the wintertime is that, as you can see, let me see if I can try and rotate around here. This right here, as it's way zoomed in, but this right here with the railing and everything, and back here is a terminal. That's the south terminal. Earlier when we were streaming some of the heavies that were taking off earlier, but it's really hard to stay out here for any length of time because it is cold. Tend to get a lot of general aviation aircraft here on the south side. Now, if you're ever traveling here, there is which I thought was really cool. There's an observation deck in the main terminal. So if you're just either coming through or you're staying in Vancouver and you want something to do and you're in a plane spotting, if you're watching his channel, chances are you are. Let's see if I can catch this guy. He is way up there. There he is. This airport is, I mean, it's just, I mentioned it earlier when Pip was still on, but it's amazing to me how friendly they are towards plane spotters here. Because in Seattle, I mean, you get the exception of the Payne Field, which is right next to the Future of Flight Museum, and right next to the main Everett facility where Boeing manufactures 777, assembles some 787 there, and they're working on 777X there. That airport is very friendly for plane spotters, but for some reason, SeaTac not so much. And Boeing Field, you can get right up to the fence line, which is kind of cool. So if you're ever visiting, Boeing Field's a good spot. And you can get much closer to the active runway than you can at SeaTac. So something to think about. But I really do like here so far. I got a lot of footage that I'll post to the YouTube page once I get back, because I think there's some really cool, like the float plane activity here is just amazing. So, yeah, I guess we're in a little bit of a lull, and I don't have anything to do what I want to do when I get back to Seattle. And while the family goes, let's see if I can catch this guy. Yeah, while the family goes shopping, I decided to come to the airport. And I'm happy I did, although I can't feel my hands right now. But other than that. All right. Greg, I can't say that I did. The whole plane spotting thing for me is it's it's a hobby. For a lot of us it is, but I did not see the YYZ stream, which I think is Toronto. But yeah, I'm trying to subscribe to more and more streams. I can imagine being out here at Vancouver, during the summer months. It's got to be gorgeous, and with the long daylight hours up here in the middle of summer, it's certainly going to be a really nice place to be. So I might make it back up here. I don't know if I could do 3 days of international roaming data, but I think for the purposes of coming up here and just picking a couple of cool days where we know there might be some fun aircraft to watch, yeah, I definitely come back up here. But I gotta get subscribed to more channels for sure. One of the things there's just a bunch of these guys going out right now. One of the things that I use when we do live streaming, I know I don't understand it. A lot of aviation live streamers don't like to talk about their equipment. I don't know. Maybe they feel like it's proprietary information or whatever like that. I don't really care. This is not my main source of income, so I'm not going to gatekeep anything. So right now what I'm doing is I'm running a Sony FX30. I've got a fixed 75 millimeter f1.2 lens from Viltrox. That's why you don't see me zooming on this. The reason for the lens itself right now is just because I can get low light with this 1.2, which is great. I'm running everything through my iPhone to stream to the internet through a Rodecaster Video S, and this is just a simple little switcher that has built-in streaming capabilities, which is pretty cool. Come on, get in focus. This is the thing I don't like about that Viltrox lens, is that you see that? Just a big blur, and then all of a sudden it pops in. Anyway, that's the extent of the hardware I'm using right now, but I also do have a company that I work with that is it's called Ecamm, and they're a Mac-based streaming software company, and I do moderation for them. And at some point, I'll get on the feed here. You can see on the stream right now, I've just got the logo for Vancouver, and I've got the Go Flying logo up there as well. I have live data feeds, including flight radar and AirNav, that I'm eventually going to superimpose there. My laptop is just one of those older laptops that chews through power, and it's not really practical for me to bring on in the field just yet unless I have a power source. So anyway, that's what I'm running right now, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions on that. I do have of the Sony FX30 to keep that guy powered, and so far, even with it being cold outside, I'm still at 72%. So it's not terrible. And my Anchor battery, that's a much bigger device, is only at 88%. So I could probably run out here with this setup for quite a while, but at some point I want to get the data feeds back up on here. It is really quiet out there. Everybody's eating lunch, I guess. No, it's 2 o'clock. Hopefully we'll see some activity real soon. So as I mentioned at the onset of the live stream here, this is just a test stream. This is not the final production. Obviously, the microphone that I'm using is a little lavalier mic from DJI, and it's not the greatest, but it works for right now. I've got a pretty decent shotgun microphone on the camera itself that is actually turned down. Right now, I can bring that back up. So that'll be a big difference for me, at least for the production value. So you guys get to see more. You'll get a chance to see, like, inbound, outbound aircraft, that kind of stuff. Right now, literally, for lack of a better term, I'm flying blind. I don't know what's coming in or what's leaving unless I look on my iPhone, and I'm watching you guys comment. So we will leave it as is for now. But if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask away. I'm here, and I am quite literally by myself here at the airport. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask away, and I'll be more than happy to answer anything that I have answers for. I think I'm going to try and run in place for a little bit here and try to warm up a little bit. Yeah, it's just this is the first time. I mean, literally this morning, this is the first time that I decided, you know what? Sitting at the hotel this morning, I was like, I think I'm going to just get out there and see if I can make this all work. And so far, it's working. It's not ideal. Pip was giving me crap earlier about having the echo in the microphone, and I totally agree. It's driving me crazy. I don't like this audio delay. But that said, it's something, at least we have, a way for me to chit chat with you guys. Ultimately at some point this will be a much more polished production, but I'm just seeing what the capabilities are right now. So I appreciate you guys acting as guinea pigs. Now looks like we got people boarding over here. Don't know where they're going, but there is, for this terminal, for the fact that this terminal is not very busy, the number of, I know this is there's not a lot of people coming in here, so I don't know what all the taxis are for, but maybe they're anticipating more people coming. I'm not really sure. somebody told me that there was still some cargo 747s flying in and out of here. I do not see any. And as a matter of fact, looking over at the FedEx terminal, I do not see their MD-11s, which I think are still up in the air. Oh God, I got to avoid these references. I think it's still undecided whether or not they're actually going to continue to fly the MD-11s. I know that the MD-11 that is parked at UPS at Boeing Field is all buttoned up. The engine, the cells are all covered and everything. The glass, the windscreen is all covered up. So I think UPS has made it pretty clear that they're not going to fly that plane anymore. But apparently FedEx still is. So I guess we'll see in the coming months. But all I see over there right now, it looks like there's 3 767s lined up. So they don't have any MD-11s here. Oh, we got a guy coming in. While we're waiting for these people to get on a plane, let's see what we got. Little issue with one of my tripod legs there. I had to fix that, but here we are. General aviation stuff's pretty. It's actually they're pretty busy. I call it general aviation, but these are fairly small aircraft that are they're coming in and out of here pretty quickly. I guess there's a lot more small airports close by here, given the mountainous terrain and everything. There's probably a little bit more difficult to build a big airport around here. So that probably explains why you see it. And actually, can't call it SeaTac anymore. It's called Seattle International Airport. They got rid of the TAC sometime last year. What Horizon used to do was they had quite a few actually commuter aircraft there, and I see a lot less of it. Buffering, if you guys are seeing that as well, I'd be really curious to hear it. I'm just seeing it on my end in the video feed, and I apologize for that. That's not something that I planned, but I'm also running it through my iPhone, so that might have something to do with it. All right, let's see. We're gonna make some changes here. Let's see if we can play around with the audio a little bit. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm watching. Obviously, I've got my feed in the camera monitor that I'm looking at, which is real time. But I'm also looking at the video here, and Yeah, it looks like it's just a little bit behind. Yeah, it looks like it's given up the ghost on me. Okay, well, this was I guess I'm. Let me see if I can. If it updates at all. Yeah, it's